Hello there, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is ChitChad and welcome back to a brand new episode of Planet Coaster, where we are working on a Super Mario Super Theme Park. Today we're building in the Bowser's Kingdom section. We're gonna make a Bowser Jr. statue to go with the Bowser Jr. Clown Car Coaster. And I'm sure that could use a better name than that, so if you have suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. First off, a little bit of housekeeping. I just want to apologize for being away for so long. Definitely wasn't my intention, wasn't planned, but now that I'm back, I'm really excited to share new content with y'all. I actually have a number of episodes recorded and ready to go, so I'm really excited to share all that with you. Not only for this park, but also for my studios park, which if you were one of the winners of the contest that I had over on my Discord way back when, fear not, we are still utilizing those assets that were created in the studios park. It's on the to-do list, and I'm really excited to start implementing those, and I will not be doing another contest until those submissions have been added to the park. But I am excited to hopefully host another contest in the future, because I also have some ideas for that. Also, we're going to have a new series coming up shortly on the channel, which are just going to be kind of mini one-off builds, so just like a coaster or a themed ride. And I think that'll be really fun and also give some variety to the Planet Coaster projects that we have here on the channel that aren't just giant theme parks. So we're building Bowser Jr., probably my favorite character in the Mario franchise ever since Super Mario Sunshine, which is actually my favorite Mario game. Even still, I would say that Odyssey is really close to being my absolute favorite. It's definitely in second place now, but something about Sunshine for me was just, I don't know if it's nostalgic per se, because I remember just being absolutely in love with the game when I played it. It must be like the island aspect of it. It just feels like you're on a vacation while you play that game. And it's fun. I think the theme park level is probably one of my favorites, but also there's the one where you start off on the beach and it's like a resort. And I think there's the shadow of the blooper that you have to take care of before you can do anything else in that level. That one's really cool. I just like the sunset aspect of it. It's got a really cool color palette. But Bowser Jr. is a fantastic character. I actually really enjoy him in Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. His character in that is heightened. He's a bit more of trickster than he has. I mean, he's always been a bit of a trickster, but I feel like they amped up his personality a lot in that game. And I didn't think I was going to enjoy Kingdom Battle. Normally, I don't play that kind of turn-based strategy types of games, but it was just so dang well done, you know? It was such a good... If you haven't played it and you own a Switch, you owe it to yourself to play that game. I could not stop. As soon as I got it, it was hours and hours of playing that game. It was just so good. And it was funny too, because I remember playing it and hearing the music. I'm like, why does this music sound so familiar? It's definitely got a Mario vibe to it, but it was something so much more than that. It was bringing back fond memories of the N64 era. And I'm like, why is this music? It sounds like it's coming from someone I should know. And then it finally dawned on me, like, wait a second, this has hints of Banjo and Kazooie. And of course, it turns out that the music was scored by the same guy who did Banjo and Kazooie and a lot of the Rare games back in the day. And it just had that vibe to it. So the music is so good, which was one of the biggest reasons why I couldn't put that game down. And it's really cool because the environment reacts to the beats of the song, which I thought was a really interesting touch, and just makes the world feel so much more alive. I think that's why I like the environments in Sonic games a lot, just because everything has movement to it. Even the friggin' flowers move in a Sonic game. Like, everything's alive. It's kind of like when Eddie Valiant goes into Toontown for the first time in the Roger Rabbit movie. Just literally everything is bouncing and has some sort of characterization to it. And it just makes the environment so lush and saturated with character. And so I really enjoy that kind of stuff. I really enjoy those little touches. So Kingdom Battle's great. In fact, we should probably add like a rabbit somewhere in this park just for fun, because those characters are ridiculous. And it's funny to think that those characters spawned from Rayman, and now Rayman has almost nothing to do with them now, which is like kind of a bummer because I really like Rayman, but it's also similar to what happened to Spyro when Skylanders came out. Like, Spyro was just kind of used to sell the Skylanders merchandise and, like, I guess the idea of it, because he was a safe character to kind of base the rest of the game around. But Skylanders kind of became its own thing. I know Spyro is still kind of the figurehead of it, but Skylanders is almost a separate experience altogether. But you know, we got re-releases of Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, and I picked those up not too long ago and quickly remembered why I love Spyro so much. The gameplay is so great. And then I also remembered why I never finished a Crash Bandicoot game, because holy cow, that makes me want to put a controller through the wall. I can't play those games. I try so hard, but I'm just not good at them. I think I'm about halfway through the first Crash Bandicoot right now, the re-release, and I'm just like, good Lord, why am I doing this to myself? I die so often, but it's one of those things where you can't stop till you finish a level, and then you're like, oh, I'm on a streak, I'm gonna play the next level, and you're like, bad idea, was definitely not on the streak, that was just a freak accident that I got through it the first time. I'm really happy with how this Bowser Jr. statue's turning out. He was really fun. I definitely wanted to include the clown car because the coaster is based off that, which was the biggest reason why I picked this coaster, was because you can color scheme it to look very similar to the clown car. What I want to do is add more elements from Bowser's Kingdom in this area of the park. Bowser's Kingdom being the one from Mario Odyssey. They have these cute little bird characters that you can actually become one of them when you throw Cappy at them, and they stick their beaks in the wall, and you can use their beaks to give you, like, you bend the beak and then their body gets momentum when they flick back up. So I want to add a couple of those characters sticking out of the walls. I think that would be a really fun touch. But one of the things I want to do is build some much more smaller characters, like say a bomb or a smaller version of the Goombas, and just kind of have them all over the ride. I would also like to have the rest of the Koopalings in there, especially because Larry is my man. I love Larry. Larry's my dude. He's my go-to for Smash Brothers Ultimate. I mean, I would say Bowser Jr. is obviously my choice, but the Larry skin is my favorite by far, just because Larry, the name alone just makes it great. It's like
Fighting Fox, Samus, Bowser, and Larry.
It's just funny to me, and I just like his character. He's cool. But I would like to add them to this area. I'm just concerned that I won't be able to build them small enough to kind of incorporate in the ride, and I don't know if I would have the time to build them in 3D. I think the first things that I'm going to build in 3D are very simplistic, but we could potentially add them as subtle animations. I'm still playing around with that idea because I don't want to add too much animation work for me, but I do want them somehow incorporated in the ride because all those characters are pretty interchangeable with Bowser Jr., and I think it would be a really cool way to add character and movement to this ride, is having those characters present. As far as the Bowser Kingdom, we are still going to add a Bowser themed restaurant. And I also want to add some kind of huge waterfall water feature to this area. I think it would really help flesh it out and break up all of the building, because I want to have, when I kind of think of Japanese architecture, it's kind of being one with nature. So I want a lot more nature kind of overtaking parts of this environment, and having a waterfall or some kind of water feature I think would really help distinguish this from the rest of the park. And thinking on that, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I do really hope to have time to make a sunshine area to this park, because I would really like to add a water ride, and I think that would be the perfect way to do that. But we already have so much going on in the park already that I don't want to kind of implode, you know, the scale of the park. But I think it would be really cool to have a water ride. For sure, we're still working on the Mushroom Kingdom itself, and that's going to be home to the Mario Kart ride, which I'm back and forth. The original version that I made on my previous Mario Park was a go-kart experience, which I think is really cool because it is, you know, Mario Kart. But it would also be fun to try and find a way to make it similar to the concept that they're talking about for the actual Mario Kart ride. But I'm still leaning towards actually just using go-karts, because I think that would just, I would love, if I was at a Mario Park and they had a Mario Kart ride, I'd be like, oh, go-karts. Yeah, absolutely. Like that, as a kid playing Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart Double Dash, which is my favorite Mario Kart, those games are just so good. And if you even were able to experience that in the real world, even the slightest bit, how fun would that be? I've heard that there was some kind of event place you could go to in Japan. Nintendo was actually trying to get them shut down, the last I heard, where they actually had people racing in like Mario costumes in go-karts around. And I'm just thinking, like, how is that not like a danger to everyone on the road? Because it looked like they were actually on the road. I'm like, that's crazy. I love Mario Kart. I don't know if I want to like drive a cart on the road in a Mario costume. That seems dangerous a little bit. But yeah, one of the other things that we needed to do on this episode is fix up the later half of the ride. I wasn't too thrilled with the way I had it set up, and I felt like it wasn't a long enough ride, and that there was enough momentum left in the coaster, especially after going through the main building, which the building right there with all the shutters and stuff, that's where I would actually want to put more characters. I think it'd be fun to have some of them like hanging from the ceiling, doing something wacky like that, and having them peer like around the corner looking at the riders as they're going past, because there's a bit of a wave in the coaster as it's going through there. I didn't want to just be a straight line because I thought that'd be kind of boring. So it might be fun to have like a bob-omb, I'm trying to say that right, bob-omb there that maybe has like a fuse going, like, oh, look out, like you're going through like a bunch of bob-ombs. I think that'd be kind of fun. And oh, that would be kind of cool too, because then we could have like firework elements to it. Maybe the whole place is like going up and you gotta escape and get through it. I think that might be kind of fun. We might add some of the Koopalings in there. So I don't know. I don't always have all of the ideas set in stone while I'm working on it. Sometimes it's just kind of like, oh yeah, let's give this a shot and see what happens. Other times I lay it out almost from start to finish. For example, the Pokemon park I made way back in the day, I had that pretty much planned from start to finish. I knew exactly what scenes I wanted, what Pokemon I wanted, and how I wanted it to be paced. There were certain elements that I had to change and adjust while I was working on it, which, now with the screens would make that a lot easier. But maybe we'll visit a Pokemon idea for a one-off build. That might be fun. But hey, we're actually to the end of this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm so happy to be back. Glad to be back. And on the next episode, I believe we're going to start working on the transportation system for the rest of the park. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I will chat with you on the next episode.